Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Center Ring. On this episode, the best episode ever, we have some sad news. The CS Rio Major has been postponed, and so we'll talk about the fallout of that. Player unions have spoken on the coronavirus, and the LCS ain't having it. So we'll talk that. Also, a loaded e-news to get to as well. But before we get to any of that, let's tell you about Alt. You've heard about them before. You've heard us talk about Alt. They've even been on the show. Go figure. And that's what this episode is brought to you by. Go check them out, altesports.com. They are good dudes, but they make even better apparel. They work with Overwatch League, Call of Duty League, teams like E United, CLG, us. Did I mention that? Alt works with us. You can even go to their website, altesports.com, right now, as I'm speaking, and pre-order our brand new 101 Burglars lineup that we collaborated with them. Get yourself a hoodie. Get yourself a t-shirt. Get yourself a onesie. That's right. We're gamer dads, or new, just soon to be. So we're thinking about the little ones. We don't discriminate for babies here. So go to altesports.com. You can follow them at Ultimate on Twitter and get your very high quality, comfortable. Someone asked me, Anuj, how do the sizing fit? I would say liberal. Like, they're pretty accurate on their sizing, right?
Like, if you normally wear a large, get a large.
Yeah.
Normally wear a medium, get a medium. I wouldn't size up.
Yeah, definitely
it's
not.
Like good quality stuff. It's not like stuff that's just going to shrink on you when you wash it either,
No.
I have a lot of their shirts, sweatshirts. We have a handful of gear from them, so it does. It just fits to size.
All right, so there you go. So get what you want. altesports.com.
Hey, this is Jeff from the Overwatch team. You're here listening to the Center Ring.
Okay, so let's start.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Center Ring. It's episode 224, coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date is March 25th, 2020. The time, 8:35 p.m. Central Time. Follow us on Twitter at the Center Ring. And join our Discord. You can find all the links on our website, tcr.gg. Hello, my name is Tim. And alongside me, as always, is my best friend, my first mate, my brown friend, my... I was gonna handsome, charming, Indian.
Mr. Clutch, Indian.
What's an appropriate thing I can call an Indian?
Like an Indian?
Not like indie?
You could say indie. I don't know how they would take it. I've never been called that. I don't know if I would take it as an insult or just think you were like
I will say this, and maybe it's just because I'm so pure I don't see color. I don't know any racial slurs for Indians.
I know a handful. I'll share after the show.
You just throw them around at family reunions?
I know quite a few.
Okay. I'm gonna Google that now. Now that I think about it, I don't have anything. But again, I'm just such a peace and loving person. Why would I?
Now you're gonna go Google them and have them like written down in a spreadsheet, ready to go with my next mistake.
Hey, what's up, my? What's up, my indie? You never know. But I could say that because I'm friends with you. So that
of course
clearly gives me a pass on saying anything I want about Indians. That's how that works, anyways. Man, I think I've said this before, Anuj, but I am over the coronavirus. I am over it. It's just being stuck at home while working. I love working from home. Don't give me that. Don't get me wrong on that. Don't put words in my mouth. I love working from home. But I feel like I'm pooping where I'm eating right now because my desk where I work is also my computer desk where I game. And it's like right after my shift. Like normally I had no problem driving home and getting right on my computer to play. but there's something about being at the same desk all day and then getting on to play. It's rough.
Yeah, and in my job, obviously, I can a little bit more effective downtime that you can create, right? And so you can at least be up and out and about a little bit more. But it is definitely hard to like work here and then think about playing games for a couple of hours at night. It's like really, it just doesn't feel fun. It feels more forced than anything, right? If you want to, you feel like you should be playing games. That's the thing, right? Like I feel like I should be playing when I have some downtime because I am at home. I have no other true responsibilities right now.
Yeah,
but
the
I just don't have
hardest
it in
part of
me.
working from home is the nights. Because my brain at night is telling me it's vacation, you're not going into work tomorrow. Though I am going, I'm just not driving, right? Like my brain is telling me this feels like vacation. I feel like I should be on vacation right now. But I'm not. It's taken a little bit. I also shout out to all the woke celebrities out there. I feel like every celebrity now has just discovered that they can go live on Twitter and Instagram and just spit their knowledge. Like, just, hey, you guys let me give you my tip. Why don't you just stay inside? Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much.
But there are a lot of people that would like do it just because they're listening to them.
Oh, yes.
There's followers
Matthew
out there that
McConaughey
way,
told me
you
I
know?
need to stay inside, so obviously he knows what he's talking about. The 10 million doctors that have been on TV telling me to stay inside, no, that's a government conspiracy. But Matthew McConaughey, he wouldn't lie.
Like if Barry Sanders came up to you and was like, "Tim, you got to stay inside, son."
I would listen to
You would
anything
listen.
Barry Sanders tells me to do.
Anything, right?
Anything. I will say too, everyone wants this coronavirus gone, Anuj, but I think streamers are probably wanting it gone more than ever at this point because their jobs are at risk. Because
What do you mean?
all of these athletes and celebrities are now
it's
starting
crazy.
to stream and instantly becoming like way popular.
Yeah.
Like,
No, for sure. Donovan Mitchell's streaming with Ninja, I think.
Is
Like,
he
or they were
really?
doing it. Yeah, they were either doing it today or I don't know what time or if they have already done it, but yeah, they were set up to like play together.
I know
so.
Luka Doncic of the
Yeah.
Mavericks here talked about streaming. I don't know if he ever actually got around to it, but I know he at least inquired about it.
There's some like Josh
Lando
Hart. There's like a
Norris?
lot of them. Who?
Lando Norris being an F1 driver is like breaking over 100,000 views. It's insane. And also that one pisses me off because it's just not fair. You're an F1 driver and you're going to become like the most popular streamer on Twitch when you ever decide that you want to go that route. And your name is Lando. Like,
It's like the trifecta right there.
like, dude, pick one to suck at. Okay, you can't have it all. Just tell me he has a small penis or something, and just
That,
to
like,
make me feel
racing
better.
sim community is about to like I feel like explode a little bit more on Twitch. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
saying they're going to take over and they're going to be number one all of a sudden, but that audience base like just grew so much in the last week. It's insane. Like just
Yeah.
looking at the numbers that were posted for them, and
And it's almost like they've always been there. They just never knew, like, oh, there are other people who like this
Yeah.
too? Cool.
I've been looking at different I'm not doing this, but just to see like some of those rigs that you can like buy and put together yourself and all that.
I got some room in my
Oh
office.
my gosh.
I could
Dude,
do
it
it.
looks so awesome.
I could
Like
do
I
it.
think Mike Rufael was showing something that they have in the Envy headquarters right now that's made by I think it's Predator.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. And it's like this gaming rig where you're basically sitting back and it's got 3 or 4 screens in front of you all the way across.
Yeah.
These guys know how to game. They're gaming the right way in those rigs.
Yeah, no, those racing simulators, like I said, whenever we have like our full-blown office, Anuj, we're going to get one of those. That and synthetic ice so I can play hockey. That's all I want.
Love it.
That's all.
Nice.
I've been on an NHL kick, so if any of our listeners play NHL on the PlayStation 4, let me know. I'll definitely play with you. But no, yeah, I agree. I think this racing simulator crowd has found kind of an unknown home with esports, right? Because we've talked about it before, so I don't want to get too bogged down on it, but it also seems like the pros definitely support it. Like professional basketball players are streaming, but they're streaming Call of Duty or Fortnite and things like that. They're not like streaming NBA 2K or Madden or things like that. These race car drivers are racing in a simulator that is almost a 1-for-1 comparison. So it's almost like, damn,
they could be really good at that, right?
Yeah, like I am
Luka
watching the
then,
best do it.
streaming. Luka was playing some NBA 2K or whatever the NBA game is right now. But like if he played dimes from the Dallas, GG Gaming or whatever they are, he would get smoked probably, right? Like these NASCAR drivers or F1 drivers can go in and like be really competitive on the high end playing those simulators. So that's
that
pretty
being
neat to
said,
see.
the middle class streamer right now is sweating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They are, because it just goes to show any celebrity could just choose to become a streamer today.
It's not like the ninjas or the Tim the Tatmans or these guys that are like
Summit's got
worried,
nothing
right?
to
It's
worry
like,
about.
yeah, Summit's okay, but the middle streamer right now is probably, oh gosh, please. Like they will do everything they can to promote staying inside.
Yeah, please, everyone stay inside so these athletes can go back to working out, for the love of God. I also love the people, though, that freak the hell out when an athlete does play video games. Like, oh my God, this 19-year-old also plays Call of Duty. Yeah. Like, though
Guess what? He's still a kid.
I can't hate too much, because I remember when Ronda Rousey like tweeted that she loves Pokemon, and I was like, whoa, that's a wake-up call that I'm getting older, when the things I was interested in as a kid, famous people are also interested in. Because like they grew up, like they're my age, right?
Yeah.
So it is weird, but I do love the fact that people are acting like almost like they're vindicated. Like, you see, guys, Luka likes video games too. Like, no shit. He's a 20-year-old millionaire. Of course he plays video games.
Doom comes out and it's somebody's first time ever playing that genre. That's when you also feel old at the same time. You're like, oh yeah, by the way, that was like one of the first games we played.
Yeah. Well, I already feel like old when that conversation comes up in Call of Duty, when people are like, oh yeah, man, I remember elementary school playing Black Ops. Like, what? Black Ops was your first Call of Duty? Come again? Oh my God, I feel so old. It's like, what was your first Call of Duty? The first one.
Like Call of Duty.
Like, nothing will make you feel more old than asking someone what their first Call of Duty was. Because it's funny, because you literally at this point can tell, because it come out every year. Like, oh damn, okay, I'm getting old. I am getting old when Black Ops or whatever is your first Call of Duty. But let's get into some of this though here, Nuge, because did you see this kind of sparked a little fire on Twitter with the player unions? The LCSPA.
That was good. I was nervous. I was waiting to see.
LCSPA and the CSPPA. I can say letters. What's up? Kevin says in chat, Modern Warfare 2 back in 2000s was his first. See, for even me though, that to me is like Modern Warfare 2 is your first one.
At least that's still pretty early.
It's still early in the current trend, but that's like 4 Call of Duties after the first one.
Yeah.
But we're old. We're old. And you're super old. Like, you're super old. I'm still young. But I'm a boomer to even the young guys.
I'm about to be 35 in like a few months here.
I'm about to be 30.
With the kid. Like, that just magnifies it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You are going to, like, you're going 34 on, like, 45.
A 35-year-old that still wins Modern Warzone games. Okay, Tim? I'm okay with that now. I'm back in. We got the first one.
You got your first W on Warzone. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I had to take a break from Warzone. It was stressing me out. It was bugging me out.
We got the plays now. You got to come back in. We got some plays. Works out pretty well. We place high quite often.
Okay. I just, maybe I'll get back on. You got to tell me what the loadout. I was getting stressed, and I was like, I got to step away. So I know me and BR games don't get along. So I am stepping away for now, but I'll let you carry me. Anyways, so looking at the player unions, so the LCSPA made a statement In short, saying that the majority of the players wanted to cancel the spring split, just cancel the season altogether. And this sparked a little bit of a wildfire over Twitter and the League of Legends community, and even outside of it. Basically, I mean, obviously, when the players are voting saying, hey, we should cancel, people just see that headline and then immediately jump down their throats saying players need to play. Well, then you need to give your money back. NA mentality. I mean, you name it, it was out there. So how this all started was Riot reportedly reached out to the players. So Riot went up to the players and said, guys, we're bouncing around ideas. We're either thinking about moving this online or canceling it altogether. What do you want to do? Over 90 players responded. Let's see, just under 2/3 said that they would prefer to cancel. So do the math. A good amount, right?
Yes.
Multiple players reportedly felt like, and this is where, so I'll get into that here in a second. Because so a lot of, like I said on Twitter, was a lot of hate. Even from guys, I don't want to call out any names because I think we're above that. But even guys like Thorin said, he made like kind of like a sideways jab of saying like, then you need to get over it and give your money back and kind of, you know, put pressure on them. And I'll get into how I feel about this in a second. But so this is what it was. It said just under 2/3. Multiple players reportedly felt like the spring split didn't matter as much. Another group of players was concerned about their safety. And then there was also a group of international players who just wanted to go back to their home country, obviously given the circumstances of like the traveling issue that is going across the world right now.
They want to be at home.
To me, that right there is the checkmate. That right there. No matter what you say now about this, you are the asshole who is telling someone who is trying to put their health and the safety of others ahead of the game.
When is this supposed to take place? Do you have the dates in front of you?
Well, the spring split, that was the one that was here, right? In Frisco? So that's,
yeah, but like, is there like a postponed date that they are talking about just canceling altogether?
I don't think it's postponed. I think they just moved it to online.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
even
I
Kevin.
mean,
So Kevin in chat, he's Kevin Correa, ESPN, Dallas. So he follows League a lot, and he even says like it doesn't mean much. All it means is seeding for the MSI tournament.
we should do like a call-in guest right now. No, yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I mean, if you say anything otherwise, you look like an a-hole, right? Like, what are you even supposed to say? If they're concerned about their safety, you're seeing it in every other major sport across the world, right? Every esport, for the most part, has even detoured and kind of given the players the ability to do whatever they're comfortable with, right? We are seeing other online games being played right now, but those players are not asking for the game to be stopped. In a situation where they are asking for it to be stopped, I mean, I feel like you have to kind of grant them that wish at this point. It would be a bad look. It would be in bad taste. And if it's just to do with seeding, I feel like even that can be played almost at any point. If you're going to play it online regardless now because of the situation, then why not just cancel it and play it online like much closer to the date where you need the seeds to actually be in place, right? Or whatever the next lineup would be of games.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that whenever. Like if it's online, it's online. So instead of doing it a month from now, you postpone it to 4 months from now, 3 months from now. What does it matter?
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
And and I think to everyone saying, well, what about the money? What about their paychecks? I think in this situation that everyone is in, to even make the call of taking away someone's paycheck is ignorant, first of all. Like, I don't think you understand what a players association or a players union, the purpose of those is for the players to have a voice and protect themselves. So God forbid if for once in esports, we see a players association actually try to stick up for themselves. Now, first off, from what I can tell, looks like it was just shouting into space because they're still playing. Like it wasn't canceled. So even though 2/3 of the majority of the people asked for this voted, yeah, we should cancel it, it's still not canceled. So, you know, again, very little power when it comes to players associations and esports. But again, if that's their reason, and whether it's bullshit or not, I think above all, you will just look like the a-hole if you are going to be the guy. And I understand the fans saying what they do because fans are dumb and we all say stupid things when we're passionate or fans of a certain thing. But it's the guys in the community. It's the guys in the industry that are like bagging on the players. And especially for like Thorne in that sense, when he just hopped on to a league that is player owned or team owned, right? But they're very focused on like the players' needs and focusing on their wants and things like that. It's like, well, dude.
Not like the one based on what his recent sayings have been with Flashpoint, like this is probably not the area for him to come in and jump on them. But again, when it comes down to player safety, I just don't know. I don't know where all these players are located, right? You're saying a lot of them want to go back to their home country. Well, God forbid one of them does end up getting sick. Like, imagine the look then, because this news is already out now, right? That 2/3 of the players would rather cancel it and go do whatever, go home or go wherever. But, if one of them were to get sick, this is a whole other story here pretty soon then.
Yeah.
You hope
you're
it doesn't
absolutely
happen.
right.
You hope the games just go off without a hitch and everybody is okay. Again, you're right. The players union just doesn't have the ability to do much in esports right now. They have a voice and they're creating a voice for themselves and letting it be known what they would like, but they don't have the power to really make change right now. But again, the more things like this come up, this also kind of bands more players together, right? Like if they feel like, hey, this is something we wanted that we didn't get, it gives them more reason to fight for the players union, to actually have some meaning to it and be able to make change.
All right, Neutral, let's see if this is actually going to work. I'm going to pull up the phone line now and see. Kevin, do you have me over?
I read you over. Flying Eagle, this is Fred Eagle. How you doing?
What's up, buddy? It is Kevin Correa, everyone, from ESPN Dallas. Anuj, say hi to Kevin and make sure you guys can hear each other.
Kevin, you got me, bud?
I got you, News. How you doing, my
Technology.
brown?
Good, man. Look at this. Coming in clutch. Appreciate you hopping on.
I mean, I got nothing but time left in the home office. So, everybody's working from home. So I'm like, what? I'll take it.
That is true. All right, so Kevin, you are obviously our go-to when it comes to League of Legends news. What was your first reaction then when you saw that the LCSPA said to cancel it?
I mean, I agree with him for the most part. I mean, yeah, you guys mentioned it earlier that we were supposed to have these spring foot finals here in Frisco, and then everything kept getting moved off, and postponed, eventually canceled. The first thought was that spring foot doesn't really mean much in the first place. Literally defeating for MSI. And MSI is really just a tournament to win money at. It's not Worlds. It's not like the international Dota. It's not really anything crazy. And so, obviously, the players voting to say no isn't a shock to me. What is shocking, people like Thorne coming out and saying, all this nonsense about, the players should get back their money. Not exactly. I don't think that's how it should work. Contracts still in place. They've already played halfway through their season. Why not just give the whole cashola instead of giving them just half their salary or whatever it is? It doesn't make any sense to me at that point. But I got to agree with the players in this case, just from what I've seen and from what I've been hearing from around the season.
So do you think any legitimacy, maybe that's not even the right word, but do you think it means any less? Because I'm always curious, because like with FPS, the argument is always online games aren't real games, because obviously the difference there. With League, is there any attitude like that within the scene that, hey, this is online, so it doesn't matter?
I mean, yeah, we kind of heard that with the LEC starting back up last week, and it was just, it's online matches, spring split, they're working out kinks still and all that. And the LEC, by the way, has had a really bumpy production for the most part in terms of just, dropping of commentators, dropping of whole teams, constant pauses. And so there is a sense of online play, and it's really play, it's not the level of, NBA versus NBA 2K. All these NBA 2K stars playing on their team accounts. But I mean, it certainly does lend a little credence to the fact that, these games don't really matter in the first place. If it's spring split. They're basically treating this like spring training, and then the spring, the Grapefruit Practice League championships are in the MSI finals, and that's really just kind of it's entertaining for sure. But I don't treat them as any more than just exhibition matches. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was disappointed when I heard the spring split finals were in Frisco instead of the summer finals. You know, because it's just summer finals like those leads in the world. That's like the journey. The road to world starts in the summer. The world, doesn't start in the spring; it starts in the summer. So what's this whole big deal about the spring split? I don't understand. You tell me, Ted. What do you guys think?
I was excited for that event to be here, honestly. Like, I was really now. For me, it's very different than for you, right? For me, I was just excited to see some League of Legends over here. It wouldn't have mattered if it was the spring split or the spring finals. Like, it all would have kind of looked the same to me in that sense because I don't follow the scene that way. I was just really excited for an event. So for that reason, I'm really disappointed that we lost that event. But yeah, I agree. Like, it doesn't, from what you're saying and from what we're hearing, like, there's not a ton of value tied to these particular matches. So to have canceled them and given yourself like a good look, that might have been the better way to go. Obviously, that's not what's happening right now. It's also not too late for them to change their mind based on how this virus develops, right? Like, Kevin, do you know where most of these players are located right now?
Most of them are pretty much West Coast, Midwest guys, maybe some on the East Coast, but generally San Francisco, LA area. It's a sprinkling here in the East Coast, and there's again, even a few league players live here, but for the most part, when they want to get them to play, they're all West Coast type of guys, and that West Coast, in terms of from what I hear, this is from my mouth to your ears. It's not at all an expert opinion. It's from what I've been told, from what I've heard from medical professionals. That West Coast is just what they call it. It's about a week ahead of us in Texas right now. So pretty much they see the West Coast start to clear up. In Texas, we're about a week behind. It'll be a little bit easier to get games going back on land servers and all that. But that's when by the summer that should be already up and running again. And that's when the real teams begin. I mean, I see your point about it's entertaining to see the game in Frisco. I was so excited. Do not get me wrong. I was 100% League of Legends in my backyard. Yes, please give me that all the time. But I'm just disappointed it was like a spring, a spring training style instead of a summer split game. Like one game would be nice.
All right, Kevin. Well, hey, thanks for coming on real quick at very short notice.
That's the first time we've done that, so that's actually pretty awesome. So you are our first, Kevin. Thank you.
What are you guys gonna call this? The TCR hotline, or what's the nickname for this thing?
TCR hotline bling.
Ooh. There you go.
We'll work on it. We'll rock. Maybe we can get some sponsors. If any sponsors are listening and you want to sponsor the TCR hotline or to be decided, you let us know. Kevin, congratulations on being the first, though.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Guys, have fun on the rest of the show. It's turning well.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, man.
Bye. All right, so there you go. I mean, even there, from Kevin, our League of Legends expert. Again, you can find him on Twitter, Kevin Correa. Just look it up. I'm sure you'll find it. He's ESPN Dallas, and good dude. He hosts Free Play, their esports show / podcast as well. So, I mean, even then, there you go. Anuj, someone who actually knows what he's talking about when it comes to League of Legends. And it seems like at the end of the day, had it been canceled, or if it is still canceled, the only people it really would have affected is the fans. Like the viewing experience of the fans. So.
No, agreed. I'm glad we got the expert to come in and chat about that a little bit. Makes me feel more confident in my reasoning of why I think they also should have canceled it, but he definitely gave some good insight as to the importance of the matches and everything else tied to it. So, yeah.
So on the flip side, you had all that drama coming from the statement of the LCSPA. Well, then you have the Counter-Strike Professional Players Association, the CSPPA, and they come out with a statement. And Anuj, I'm not going to read it, but I've never seen someone say so little with so many words.
You should read some of it. Do you have it in front of you?
I have it right here.
Give us some of the hard-hitting quotes.
All right, it says here that the CSPPA is being contacted by players across the world for their working environment in regards to the current outbreak of coronavirus. First off, they did not call it the COVID-19. That's a rookie mistake by them. No one calls it coronavirus anymore. Professional CSGO players operate at a high-risk environment, and as a result of the corona situation, this is because the life of a professional CSGO player revolves around the tournament participation, exposure to mass audiences, fans, blah, blah, blah. So all this, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Our number one priority is ensuring player health and safety, and we're collaborating closely with our tournament partners, ESL, DreamHack, and Flashpoint, to ensure that all CSGO players are safe as possible.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
We are thankful for how great they've been. We call on other tournament organizers to get in touch with the CSPPA to enable us to assist in ensuring players' health and safety.
Yeah.
Okay. While we understand that this is inconvenience that the virus causes worldwide in the CSGO ecosystem, the coronavirus outbreak is bigger than CSGO, and we ask the entire community to continue to act responsibly.
Makes sense.
We, the pro CSGO players, are thrilled that we can continue to provide competition and entertainment to all of you. Come join us in the server, and please stay safe, everyone.
All right. Why?
So
It's just so funny because it's like just a.
what?
It was like a statement to make a statement. You know, like, hey guys, we need to make a statement.
Everyone is making these very fancy Twitter statements. We got to make our own. And it's almost like I'm glad that we tweeted out our statement on our at the Center Ring Twitter, almost as like a joke, obviously as a joke, making fun of everyone who felt the need to make a statement. Like, hey guys, in case you thought we were on the fence of this whole coronavirus situation, like pros or cons, we want to let you guys know the CSPPA, we're against the coronavirus. We just wanted you guys to know we don't like it.
And we're here for player safety as the Players Association.
And we're going to ask tournament organizers if they could disinfect the tables. Not like they didn't say, but if they don't, we're not coming. We're just asking. Just courtesy. I mean, we'll still show up because we're the CSPPA and we have absolutely no power in Counter-Strike. But
which again, like that is so true. They don't have any power. It's great that they have a unified voice right now. For the most part, unified, right? Not like every voice is in there.
Even if the voice is not saying anything.
This is like one of those statements where it's just like I really picture this meeting. Like I really feel like I was sitting down in there like, we need to make a statement, need to be bold, need to be against Corona.
Guys, people
put that together.
People think we're pro Corona at this point. We got to say something. We got to say something.
Tim, the intern journalist, go write something up. Let's get it out today. And this is where we're at. And it's, again, okay, good. Like, fantastic news. You're against it. We appreciate that. Now, let's keep going.
Right. Like, whew. Now that we know your statement that you are pro player health, I can now rest assured. Thank you. Thank you, Counter-Strike Players Association. So I thought it was funny when the whole drama about the LCSPA started and then they made that statement. And I was like, that's the bat you're swinging with? Bro, you just want a wiffle ball bat to a MLB game. Like, what are you doing? So I thought it was pretty funny. It makes it even better that in the pre-show meeting, I'm like, have you read this yet? And you're like, no. And then you're like, is this it? Like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, absolutely. Like, you got it. You got it. You figured it out.
That's it.
You figured it out. So, maybe, at least now when you're watching Flashpoint or DreamHack or ESL, they wiped those keyboards off. They disinfected those chairs. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. So there you go. But despite wiping off chairs and keyboards and desks, it's not enough to stop the ESL 1 Rio Major from being postponed. I knew it was inevitable. We knew it was going to happen, Anuj, but it hurts. It hurts knowing that it's real.
It does. Like it's again, we knew it was coming. We said it so many times, like it's just around the corner. And to see how far it's pushed back, I think what hurts more than anything, Tim, is knowing that we lost the second major of the year. Um, it already feels like scarce enough, right? With just the two majors. I know we've had like three in some years previous, but like it's really been two pretty consistently. And there's so much hype leading up to it. Obviously, like just the sticker and then the in-game like pool that you can enter into and the pick'em or whatever.
And even for
and
us,
like,
it's like 2 weeks of we don't even have to think of content. We know what we're talking about.
oh yeah, well because you have the qualifiers, then you have the minor qualifiers, then you have the challenger stage and the legend stage, and so there's just like so much there, and we to lose a whole one really sucks. So what they've done is they have basically combined both majors, knocked it down to one. They're still going to hold it in Rio. So for those of you in Rio, your tickets remain valid. People that have bought it, you still have an opportunity to go. I'm sure airlines are probably working with a lot of people. So hopefully none of you are getting screwed out that are looking to travel down there and fly down there. But all of that is still valid for you. It's being moved to November. Tim, what they did do is they increased the prize pool to 2 million. So I still think that should have been done anyway this year for each major personally, but at least there is now like $1 million on the line for the winning team, based on how probably the payouts will be aligned for this, but did get bumped up to 2 million. And this creates a lot of other issues, but kind of right off the bat, like at least the increased prize pool helps there. It could potentially also be the finale of the Intel Grand Slam. So if we saw an overlap there of a team making that also like a tournament for them to win, there's more potential storylines tied to it because of the timing of the event. But otherwise, like it is just a huge loss, right? Like it's just a big loss to lose a whole major.
Yeah, it's like I'm a big supporter of having that one meaning. Like I'm not anti one major, but I am anti losing a major like a month before it's supposed, or 2 months before it's supposed to happen. I do like the fact in my head, I'm envisioning it being almost like the CSTI, where now finally Counter-Strike has their one major, right? Their one big tournament of the year that we are going to focus, and this is going to be the Super Bowl for Counter-Strike. Now, is Valve going to treat it that way? Hell no. They're going to treat it like any other major. They're not going to acknowledge the fact that this is going to be the only one we get. They're not going to double down on production or anything like that. It's going to look like a normal major despite it being the only one of the year.
Yeah, like I don't have a lot of faith that this is going to like be an over the top type of event that you would expect to see at the TI or something, right? Like I just don't see them going. It's going to be like a beautiful presentation. It's going to look good. It's going to be fun for the fans. It's going to probably look great for the audience. But I don't think they're going to go like all out to make it a celebration of like the 20 years of the game, right? Like maybe that would be a cool thing to kind of do, and you think that would make sense, but we just haven't seen a focus been placed that way on the major. The reason the major is so big is the importance that the fans put on it, not necessarily the presentation that we get from the broadcast on something like that. Like a lot of times it can feel, similar to another event. There's just more on the line, so everything feels like higher energy, more amped up. But in terms of presentation, I probably am, probably going to be let down if we think this is going to be some sort of 20-year celebration of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I just, maybe it'll be a good wake-up call to say, hey, maybe we should just do one major, right? Maybe, and I say major, one big tournament, right? Have your TI. You can have, because Dota, back in the day, it used to just be the three, I think it was 3 majors and then the TI, maybe 4 majors in the TI, I don't remember. But, they did have those big tournaments throughout the year that people viewed just as valuable. But then the TI was like, it's the TI. You have that one, what's it called? Fan funded?
Yeah, the Dota for the international.
Yeah. Crowdfunded. That's the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for. You can have that one crowdfunded event of the year, and Counter-Strike, I think you could easily make that. But again, that is assuming Valve would ever think about Counter-Strike in that light, and they just don't. We have learned it from multiple
Not
times.
yet. So I think a lot of what happens with Counter-Strike now will be dictated based on what type of success does Valorant have and how does that affect CS:GO, right? If there's Valorant's a huge game and it's wildly successful, but it's killing Overwatch, not really affecting CS:GO numbers. Like Counter-Strike, I think will carry on the same as it is now. No need for more Valve involvement. They just never cared that much about the game. However, if Valorant comes out, maybe it's still hurting Overwatch, but at the same time, Counter-Strike now we'll remember this point, right? We just hit 1 million concurrent players. Let's see where we're at like a year from now when Valorant comes out, because we can't be like, oh, well, Counter-Strike's been out for a long time. It hit its highest number 20 years into the game lifespan, right? So no difference between 20 and 21. It's just the competition that's there. I think if Valorant comes out and it's like wildly successful and it's just really feels like a true threat, then we see Valve kind of have that involvement and maybe create some sort of international or TI type presence behind Counter-Strike. But the way it is now, because it's through a third party organizer, like their job is to make money. Like they're not gonna dump an extra 5-10 million into production to have 3D effects and dragons flying over the stage like you've seen at some of these other events. So again, I think it'll still be a fantastic event. I think this causes Tim now a lot of other potential issues, right? Right now, with the way the dates have aligned up, we've seen the minor for the Americans, America's minor, is now the same time as the Flashpoint Global Qualifier, and so those are scheduled
that won't be
for
a
the
big
same
deal though,
weekend.
because Flashpoint's like what, everything below top 20.
There'll be a couple of teams that could be in conflict with. Handful of teams there that could potentially be an issue for. But yeah, those are the same weekend. I think the biggest thing that I'm curious to see how it affects is like the roster change rule, because the way that's always been in place is really you have to have 3 out of 5 of your roster from the previous major to hold that roster spot if you're a Legends or Champions team or whatever that stage is now called. And that almost puts us at about, what is that, Tim? Like a year and a half almost from the last one. Was the last major from the time this one actually kicks off, at least a full year. And that's really uncommon in terms of duration for a roster to kind of hold all 5, assuming they already haven't made one
Berlin
change.
was ended on September 8th.
Yeah, so it's
and now
over
it's
a
going to
year.
be November 6th or November 9th, excuse me.
14 months roughly. You're asking teams to stay together with the majority of their roster. And again, that's already assuming that they haven't made a roster change leading up to the major, thinking, oh, well, we still have 3 out of our 5. Now, if things don't go well with that roster, they're really limited on what parts they can change out, and how that works. And so we'll see how that plays into it. I think that could be the biggest challenge for a lot of teams.
I mean, yeah, especially with how the seasons are going, right? With Flashpoint and ESL and things like that. I mean, because these are ending. They have ending points and like stoppages here almost like in a couple of weeks, like in a month. And so that's when they're going to look at making roster moves. But in the back of their mind, they're like, well, damn, we need these at least 3 guys now from the last major, which was over a year ago, or which, will be over a year ago.
Look at MIBR. MIBR can't make a change at all unless they have to keep Fur, Fallen, and Taco.
Valve is going to have to be a little bit more lenient if teams are going to want to make changes. And they have to realize, like, this is not a normal... Those rules apply for normal situations. This is not a normal situation. I
Yeah.
think this is one where Valve just has to loosen up a little bit. Valve is a stickler for the rule book, though. We know that. Look at the lifetime ban for I Buy Power Boys. So they are sticklers for their rules, but I think for this one, it's okay. And honestly, in my opinion, you should make as many. I always thought it's dumb. I think the org should keep the spot anyways, and they can make as many roster moves as they want. But that's me. I'm definitely in the minority there, where the players should not keep the spot. The org should, but that's just me.
Hey, the fact that you said I buy power, can we put that in the title of this episode?
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way. I'll put, to get listens, I'll put I buy power, Fortnite, Ninja FaZe Clan. That will be the title of the episode.
/Optic.
That will be the title of the episode, and that's just how we bait people into listening, because those are the key phrases the kids like these days. Let me tell you.
Well, Tim, now we have a lot of Counter-Strike ahead of us that, unfortunately, I feel like it devalues a lot of what's coming up. Like, I'm just waiting for the damn major. Like, I really wanted the major. That was DreamHack weekend for us. So that was going to be like
fading interest already in the leagues. I can tell you that right now. I watch some now during the day. And I put some money down on the games, and that will help me stay interested. Shout out Fnatic. Go to hell. You suck. Worst Counter-Strike team in the league. Can't save a round to hold your life. You lose 2-0 to Na'Vi. How? I don't understand these leagues. You get 2-0'd by Na'Vi, who got 2-0'd by Big.
With Simple putting up 50.
With Simple putting up 50. I don't get it. And then here's Fnatic, like, losing eco rounds on Dust 2. You got the bomb down. It's a 3v1, and somehow they lose the round. It's like, my God.
It's all matchup oriented for me. There's a lot of matchups that I am not going to watch in these. I say these leagues, like, a lot of that's directed towards Flashpoint. There's like a lot of matchups in Flashpoint that I don't care to watch.
Oh, look at that.
In ESL, there are a handful.
2 shows in a row, I get an alert that some account is trying to get hacked in. Dude, someone got my Uber account, just sent me an alert. Hey, someone's trying to log into your account. Was this you? No.
It's like it happens during the show. Somebody's trolling.
Every time. I don't get it. Uber. What do you want with my Uber account?
Free rides, man. Rideshare. It's huge.
I guess.
It's like game changing.
Unreal. 2 shows in a row, man. I got to deal with that. All right. Well, there's something to do after the show, I suppose. It's
all matchup oriented for me, like 100%.
I was looking forward to the major. The major was gonna pick up this coronavirus has sucked away my joy. The CS major was going to bring it back, and now they just shot it right back down. And who knows how long this is going to last. Maybe it will get canceled in November. We don't know.
That's a long time away. I cannot quarantine till November, Tim. Don't even throw that juju out there. There's no way.
I don't know. You just hear so many different things, so who knows? Who knows what will happen next.
November, I mean, that's a long time away. It's a long time away to wait for a CS major. Like, for the biggest esport out there right now, or one of the biggest esports out there, that it just hurts. So we move on. We have a lot of other tournaments coming up that we'll be covering when they go back live.
Let's see. You have, just looking here, you have the Blast Premier Spring Finals coming up in June.
Which that will actually be good, because that's going to be like, again, I love the way that they're doing their format.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the breakup of, like, give me a little taste of it. Let me see who's advancing. Let me build a storyline. Okay, now let's work off of that storyline and create a few more storylines that keep it interesting, moving into the final stage, where now you've had like 2 different tournaments where you've had competition take place, where maybe there was like some really great matchups or things to remember. Simple has another outstanding game, like a reason to keep watching it. So I'm actually excited for that one.
Cologne is going to be July. So I think they're in safe range so far. I am a little bit nervous.
Kind of.
I was gonna say I'm a little bit nervous about June dates. I'm not confident in June dates just yet, but I think at least with these we'll get them online though. Like, yeah, it might suck a little bit. All right, sure. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, and right now I am begging for some Counter-Strike.
Yeah, and like it'll be online will be different than like what we saw with Katowice, right? Like Katowice, they played in the venue, just in an empty stadium. That's not going to be the case, right? Like
Right.
if these are played online, these will be like truly online matches, and so that would really like hurt the way we viewed. Like if can you imagine if Katowice was played as an online game and like everyone's playing from their own home? Like that would have been really lackluster. At least it was still cool to see them in the stadium, and like we had the announcers there, and um they could still like it was just a very unique experience. I don't think we get that same type of hype level for some of these other events.
Well, I mean, it would feel
Coming
like a
up.
league play, right? It would feel.
Yeah, it would just feel like a league match.
Yeah, it
That's
would
all
feel
it would
like a
be.
league
It would just be
match.
an online match. Like
Yeah.
there wouldn't be any of that. Like
It'd be between good teams. It's just that spark would not be
even
there.
your hosts will be doing it from home. You know, like I know we see
Well,
Flashpoint and
maybe
ESL.
because
What's up?
Flashpoint and ESL are like racing to see whose staff can get Corona first.
I don't get it. I really don't understand what they're doing. Like it's the stupidest thing I've
It's
ever
a dick
seen in my
measuring
life.
contest to see who can get Corona first.
I'm surprised, like the commentators are like these, you know, like Sponge. I see unless like Machine, Henry G, and Sponge, like these guys, to me hold a lot of power. Right? They're all best friends. I believe they all live together, if I'm not mistaken, or
Machine looks like
at
he's lost
least
some weight, looking good.
at least 2 out of the 3 live together. So for me, I'm like really confused why they don't have the ability to be like this needs to move from home unless they like truly feel safe in the environment they're in. But I don't think that should be their
But
call
it's a
right
virus.
now.
Like, of course you're gonna feel safe. Like all those
Yeah,
people
but,
on
like, in
South
the sense,
Beach
like,
felt safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, maybe I don't know how many people are in the studio, but the fact that they are all in the studio, it's a little alarming when the whole
Yeah.
world is like shut down right now.
I'm
and this
sure
is,
they're
like,
working
again,
on skeleton crews, but I can promise you the production staff for these aren't essential. Like in the realms of when the government says essential workers can still go in, like
yeah, like this is not essential. Yeah.
you just, have your
No,
one guy in the studio to turn on the stream and manage that, but then cast from your house like League of Legends is doing it. Like Rainbow is doing it. The Rainbow Pro League started back up this week. They're casting from their homes. Oh my God, how is it possible? How do they have the technology to do this? And yet ESL and Flashpoint are still like, nope, going
just
strong.
last week we were like all patting ourselves on the back saying, oh look, esports is the one thing that can go online and be online, and we have the analyst in the house. Like
The
it's not
least
even the
important
players. Like
people.
what are we doing?
Yeah, we don't want Discord delay with our analysts, sir. I don't get it either. I get it. They feel like, hey, it's only 4 of us, 5 of us. What's the big deal? The reality
That's
is
not really what it can be though. There's got to be like a camera guy, people to like. I mean, there's got to be
I assume
more than
so. You see,
10 to 15 people there.
no, because the camera, that's probably all a robotic camera, right? Like no one's actually sitting behind a camera. I would assume there's probably like 4 or 5 other people than the actual broadcasters and the desks and whatever. Because they took a screenshot, Flashpoint did, and there was like 5 or 6 of them there. But then, like I said, then you have the production behind the scenes, which is probably another 5 guys, I would think. So,
Either way, it's more than it needs to be right
It's-
now. Like this can be done.
it is
remotely.
irresponsible.
Yeah,
When
and
our
it's a bad look.
Look,
you know.
when police officers are driving around pulling people over to make sure that you're going somewhere essential and not just joyriding, you should probably stay home and cast from your apartment.
Yeah,
I I'm not trying to be raining on anyone's parade
isn't
here, but
ESL like getting kicked out of their hotels left and right? Like that's what I've been reading on Twitter.
yeah.
They're in Malta,
So-
aren't they, or something? Like, aren't they getting booted from hotel to hotel to like do what they're?
Yeah, I think like they got a house. I think they ended up getting a house for them.
But so it's like a shitty enough situation to where you're constantly getting kicked out of the area that you're in. Like these are
But guys, go
bad
into the office.
signs.
Why don't you go into the office? Don't worry about it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, the country's locked down and you can't leave, but why don't you sneak on over to the office?
Let's go cast some Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. They are literally the only 2 leagues left on the face of the planet that have people in studio. So we'll see. Actually, I do think too, for how crazy it's all been, the numbers on esports, I mean, maybe it's just not being reported, but doesn't it seem like kind of low?
What?
Like as far as people in esports with Corona? Have you heard? I know there was that one guy on Team Liquid, they just said it. What was his name? I actually had it in E-News here. Casper of Team Liquid for their Apex team, he was tested positive.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I did see that. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if it's surprising that it's low. Like it's not like
they're getting out much.
Yeah, like they're generally at least more enclosed now. Where it would think it would happen is these events, but they were kind of on top of this quickly, which kudos to esports for that. Like Katowice canceling felt premature when it happened.
Katowice were trendsetters.
Yeah,
like looking back on it.
Oh yeah, well, didn't you like? I felt like that was a little premature at the time.
Yeah,
like I was like, oh man, that sucks. Like, could they not have done this? Like, nothing else is really, closed down, and we were making more of a like, what are they doing? Not, it wasn't ESL that decided to close it down. It was the guy, like the mayor. Yeah, but like it felt premature. Like nobody else was really doing that at the time, and the fact that happened to them and they were forced to do that. Obviously they had to listen to what city was telling them, but that really did set the trend because that's one of the largest events of the year, getting pinned hostage in this situation and taken out. And so they set that trend early, and I think that also helped prevent the spread of a lot of it within esports, because these guys were going to interact with 10-20,000 fans at these meet and greets and playing on stage, and so you're bound to have more cases if they didn't act so early.
Yeah. So bottom line, there's thoughts and prayers for ESL and Flashpoint's crew, as they're the only people in America, in the world, still having to go to their jobs. So congratulations, guys. Let's get into some E-News, though, if you don't mind, Anuj. As CSGO, you informed me ahead of time, but there are rumors going around.
Rumors, dude. Yeah, like they are rumors. One of them was by an executive from Valve. The other, this was also then confirmed by Norse, who is like a very well-known like CSGO leaker, and he's been proven right several times that we might be getting that coveted Source 2 update, Tim, in the next few months. Now, they did say, like, I think 2 to 3 months was kind of the timeline that they had in mind, and it's going to have the potential to be in beta for up to a year before it's released. This is also Valve timeline, so something to kind of keep in mind in terms of 2 months Valve's telling us that, and then it's like a year and a half from now or 10 years from now, like who knows. But again, with everything that we've heard with Valorant and the threat that it truly brings, I don't think it's overly surprising that they are trying to think of ways to stay ahead of the curve and retain the numbers that they have now.
We don't have to talk about it right now, but maybe in a future episode we can have it where you actually give the details of what Source 2 is.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really know. I know Dota switched over to it and like some things changed, but as far as like benefits of it, I know it's like huge. Like everyone's been talking about it for years, so you'll have to tell us what it is.
I'll just tell you the one that you can see right now is the Panorama UI. That is a Source 2 feature. So the new UI, the panoramic UI that you see in game when you launch the game, and the way you see the player model there and the way that it's all laid out, that is a Source 2. That is a Source 2, part of the engine there that you're seeing for that part. But yeah, I think that's a topic to save for another day that we can dive into.
All right. MIBR takes Group B in Flashpoint, beating Chaos 2-1. There's that.
Kind of expected them to win that group, although we thought, well, if they would lose it, it wouldn't surprise us because of the way they've been playing, but they were expected to win that group.
Yeah. And Navi ended up winning Group B as Fnatic and Forza move to the play-in round. A little shocking just how Navi started, right? They looked pretty shaky, but that Fnatic match was, like I said, for someone who had money on Fnatic, just winning a round. I just needed them to cover the spread. Holy shit. That was frustrating.
And Navi is going to be the hardest team to bet against the way that they've started this year.
I was like, easy. I think Navi will win, but I'm going to take the spread. And no, they ended up 2-0. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous on Fnatic's part. Overwatch is back again. This Saturday and Sunday, there will be 16 games of Overwatch played. Oddly enough, though, not every team is playing. There are some, I believe, off the top of my head, Philly will not be playing. That's the only one off the top of my head that I know. Maybe Houston isn't playing either. But that's obviously, though, because there are teams still that have not played a match of Overwatch League this season. So the Asian teams definitely have to play catch up. So that's the majority of them. Dallas, I think, has 3 or 4 matches. I'm actually looking forward to it. I kind of like the idea of a lot of matches
getting
on one
flooded
day.
with games. I 100% agree. Do you know if they're going to be dual streaming it?
You know what? I don't know because I don't know what the schedule looks like.
I'm pretty stoked for
With
that
that
many
amount of
matches to
games,
come
you would
up,
have to imagine.
With the ban system now being in place and just having it back, I think is good in general. We'll get to see where some of these teams are and start building out some storylines there, which will be fun because we don't really know, what we have right now. We just haven't seen enough of it.
Oh my God. So they are not dual streaming it. It will be on one stream. Now, because of the time zones, okay, I guess they can do it this way. God bless the schedule makers. The first game, which are the Charge versus the Dragons, take a shot at when that starts.
Oh gosh, at 10 a.m.?
3 a.m. in the morning. That's going to start at 3 a.m. our time, I believe, or whatever the Overwatch League website is. I think that's local time.
Where are these games at?
Well, they're online. So these are Chinese teams.
Who's the first team that's playing?
They're in China.
Oh, okay. I thought you said LA, and I was like, wait a minute, this is not making sense to me. What are they doing?
No.
Okay,
Yeah. So they're playing in China, and then it goes all day with the last game ending at
10 p.m. our time.
11 p.m. Yeah. Which is the fuel. So that's a lot. That is going to be a lot of Overwatch. But like I said, I kind of like that. I kind of like being able to tune in and be like, oh, there's a game on. I don't have to be glued to it for 4 hours. I can just kind of come and go.
Do kind of wish they had the dual stream. That way I could kind of flip between games and pick which one is the more interesting game to watch. But yeah, that'll be good. I'm glad it's back. It's been a long time. It's going to be interesting to see where these teams have had a lot of time to practice.
Wow.
So what we saw initially, we might not be seeing that same type of team right now. It really has been a long time.
And my concern too is without the dual stream or having a backup, some of these teams are very far away from each other. From what I understand, Seoul Dynasty are in Korea, and they're playing the Fuel at 11 p.m. So
Who's server?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They put it in EU and make it
someone's
shitty
listening,
for both of them.
Yeah, if someone is listening and says no, if you're yelling at your computer saying, no, Tim, you're an idiot, Seoul are playing in LA, then correct me. But I think I read that they're going to be in Korea. I do know who's in Korea, though, and that's the Vancouver Titans. So they announced that they are moving back to Korea, South Korea for the time being, just as, of course, with this whole corona thing going on and just the world at disarray. They are flying back to Korea for now. Obviously, in a time like this, when you're younger, I think being home is the important thing. So they're flying back, but again, they're continuing matches. They're playing Sunday, so I don't know when they're flying back. But again, they playing.
Better be soon.
Yeah, they're playing the
Better
Fuel.
be soon. Yeah.
I don't know. So there's that. In League of Legends news, sort of, Riot Games decides to donate $1.5 million to the coronavirus relief in LA.
That's awesome. Didn't Ninja donate a lot of money or something too?
Yes, Ninja ended up donating $150,000. So
That's awesome. Good for them, dude. That's great.
good, good for them. Riot actually made a statement saying that they gave $1 for every sexual harassment case filed on them.
Oof. I wish I had like a sound to play right there for you.
In Call of Duty, the rumor is that a COD Mobile Championship is going to start here soon, maybe in the next coming of months. There's been some leaked screenshots here and there, and it was pointing to COD Mobile. I won't lie, I didn't know like that game was popular enough to do that.
I know it's huge, actually. Like, I know a lot of people play COD Mobile. I am still, Tim, like, I'm having trouble with the mobile thing still.
Oh, you
and
don't have to hide.
I
on
hate
this
to
show.
say it. Like, I just don't want to be that guy, and then I'm going to get shitted on, and people are going to, like, hate on me for it, and I get it, but, like, I'm not bought in yet, and I feel bad. Like, I feel like I'm just, like, oh, this is, like, this little younger brother of mine that I'm just kicking to the curb here, and all he wants to do is be part of the team.
I feel like
You know,
it's
he
when
just
we were
wants to
kids
play
and
with the
people
big
made
boys.
fun of us for playing video games. We're now making fun of people for thinking mobile games as video games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I feel a little guilty inside by like feeling this way. But it's just how I feel.
Yeah, I can't.
Like, I just can't buy into the mobile gaming community yet. Like, I'm not there.
I'm there with you. I am there with you, buddy. Don't feel bad. Speaking of games that aren't really esports, in Fortnite, I have no idea if I'm going to say these names correctly because, again, Fortnite.
Creo and Bucky.
Not an esport. Creo and Bucky were busted alongside Keys and Slacks
Yeah.
for teaming. So, of course, we talked about this a while ago when Epic made their new rule of teaming up in the upcoming season and how it's going to be now a bannable offense.
It's for Storm Surge, so like if you don't know what that is,
I don't know.
Basically, you take damage if you haven't output enough damage during the game, and the reason they do that is to like limit the number of people that are alive at the end of the game, right? They don't want 70 out of the 100 people in the lobby to be alive end game on a small circle. A, it's hard on the servers. Their servers are really pretty trash for the most part. B, it's also just to like limit the number of people in general. Like they don't want that type of gameplay at the end. So you take automatic damage if you haven't output enough damage during the game, regardless if you're in the storm or not. So you're gonna take a natural tick. So what these guys were doing were allowing each other to damage one another to hit that damage number. So then when the storm surge kicked in late game, they could play more defensive, place higher. In this case, they won, I believe, a couple of games, or I know they won like a game and placed high enough to advance, right? And so teaming is 100% against the, it's just, I was shocked that there were people out there.
Very obvious too, though. Like if you go and watch the clips, like I didn't even know what storm surging was, but watching the clip, it's like, okay, you guys are definitely not trying to kill each other right now.
It was like IBP. Bye power, Tim. Once again, they can come up twice in one episode. Yeah, no, it was noticeable. Like they were playing choppy. Like
they looked like me and you getting into a gunfight.
Like somebody that didn't know how to react to build a wall.
Yeah, they
right?
built
like
a standard ramp and just took some pop shots, which is exactly what I do in Fortnite.
Yeah, 100%. And so they got caught doing it. It was posted throughout Twitter. There were a handful of people that supported them, saying this was ridiculous. I think you're absolutely stupid and wrong. In fact, I think the ban is light, personally. Like, this is for one of your biggest tournaments, one of your only tournaments of the year that you're holding, and people are cheating in it, and you give them a 60-day slap on the wrist. And granted, it's not aimbot, it's not wall hacks, but it's competitive integrity at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, so I'm a little confused on that ban as well. So again, iBuyPower were banned for life for fixing matches in Valve.
Jarvis was banned for life.
And that's in the same game.
It's same game, making YouTube videos. Like, he's not a cheater in the way that
in a competition, he's just cheating in the game, and he gets a lifetime ban for hacking. Now, I will admit, in the level of cheating, because it's not all, broad strokes, right? There is different levels. To me, hacking should be more punishable than colluding, right? Like, if you're working with a team and you're teaming up as squads and whatever, not killing each other, that is still, it's still cheating, but it's not like hacking. Hacking to me, I guess, is worse. I don't know why, but it's just how my brain works. But still, 60 days seems a little light when your only other comparison for punishing cheaters is a lifetime ban. Like, what?
If the iBuyPower stuff didn't happen, would you have said a lifetime ban for that offense was really the only suitable punishment?
For hacking?
No, for what iBuyPower did, right? So they threw the match for skins and allowing that other team to advance. They also got a monetary gain from skins.
So
on it.
I and I won't even lie to you. I would have said yes, because when it happened, I remember I was on board with a lifetime ban. I said, no, you guys fixed matches. Who knows for how long?
Yeah.
You should be banned lifetime. Now, obviously, I have rethought about it, and I've backed away from that.
And we all agree it's Dave's fault.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, 100%. But I do think they should be allowed to play now. So obviously, I think I think lifetime ban is dramatic. It's got to be
over dramatic for a video game. I mean, your audience is as young as possible. It's the youngest audience for any sort of sport there is, right? For the most part.
Now, if he gets caught cheating again, lifetime ban him, right? Like, if you got caught hacking twice, you're done. That's your bad. But
60-day ban seems overly light, though.
Yes, does not seem to match up.
6 months, 1 year, I would have been like, yeah, that's good. They're removed from the tournament. They're removed from, they'll have to do something else for a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
It hurts them enough financially. This is nothing.
60 days is, that's nothing. In other news, the Tokyo Olympics have been pushed back to 2021. Not necessarily esports, but I think, again, it just gives you the idea of the scope of what's going on. I mean, that was the Winter Olympics. So that wasn't even going to be until way later in the year. I believe November.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that takes a little bit more time to get things in order, which is why they're announcing it so early. Like, people are like, whoa, it was so early. Well, the Olympics, they don't build it overnight, guys.
There's so much infrastructure that goes into place to make an event like that happen. Like, you're kidding yourself if you think you're going to have 1 million people fly in to Tokyo to watch the Olympics here right after a huge pandemic. So, it was a matter of time also, I think, before that happened. But you're right. That shows the scale. Like, the Olympics got postponed.
And I saw some
people... It makes NBA look minuscule. NFL looks so small.
Like, it makes... I can't believe they didn't allow crowds in Katowice. And then all of a sudden they ban the Olympics. And you're like, I guess crowds aren't that bad. If I see also one more person suggest that they should just do an esports Olympics, I will cut off my pinky toe. I am so tired of that suggestion. Also, it's like people are trying to act all woke about it too. Like, hey, you know what they should do? They should do esports in the Olympics. Like, die. I don't care. I don't care if they're in the Olympics or not. Shut up. Fox Sports, though, Anuj, they love them some NASCAR, talking about traditional sports and esports merging, Fox Sports averaged just over 900,000 viewers for the eNASCAR event last Sunday. The highest ever esports event on TV, beating out Mortal Kombat on CW of all things. Think those numbers are real? I don't think
It's
so.
like weird.
I don't think
The 903?
No. The fact that Mortal Kombat was in second place, or
Oh no, yeah, the Russian bots for sure. There's no way.
on the
There's no way.
Mortal Kombat on the CW. What about that tells you the highest rated esports event? But I digress.
Forgot what like Counter-Strike was on TBS for a minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that, and then Overwatch and all that. But anyways, they are the number one highest esports rating TV, and they loved it so much that Fox announced that they will be airing the complete iRacing Pro Invitational Series. The entire season will now be on Fox, because obviously regular NASCAR season is pretty much dead. So they are now going to do this.
The one positive coming from COVID over here is iRacing. Like, iRacing has benefited from this and found a way to take advantage of this situation so well. Like, props to them for turning something out of this, right? Like, they made a positive out of this.
Still trying to get someone on from NASCAR to talk about all this with us. I would love to. So if anyone knows Clint Boyer, let's get in touch. And staying on that same thread here, though, Logitech G, which is a Logitech company, announced that they are renewing their partnership with McLaren. So obviously we're talking about those racing wheels and the simulators. That's a big part of it, is Logitech makes some of the best ones out there. So huge.
I got the ultra wide over here. I might get a racing wheel just to have some fun with it.
You just missed the sale on F1. F1 2019 just ended its sale. But I'm sure.
For the game itself?
Yeah, for the game itself.
No, I'm talking about, like, I want an actual wheel and pedals.
But you also need a game to play with those pedals.
Well, yeah, but that's like the expensive part is the...
yeah, I mean, that's true.
I need a sale for that before I need a sale for the game.
That is true. But yeah, no, I'm definitely in the market for that as well. But yeah, so again, pretty cool. We've already talked about it, but like that whole scene, right? That whole racing simulator esports scene, how it's just all figuring it out right now, and it's just kind of cool to see that happen at once. So very cool, and it'd be interesting to see when everything comes back to normal where they're at with it, right? Like, is NASCAR gonna look at eNASCAR as just like sloppy seconds when this is all said and done and said, thanks, no, clean off your chin and get out? Or are they gonna still show some love afterwards?
They need to make a cool VR game is what they need to do for Oculus. For NASCAR, where you're like sitting in the car, like that would also eliminate the need for like 6 monitors that some of these people have, right? Just being able to like sit in the car that way. I did plug in, update for all of the listeners, I plugged my Rift back in. Maybe I do a Rift stream at some point for Half-Life Alyx that came out. I've heard great things about it. If you've played it, I would love to like hear your thoughts on it.
Looks pretty awesome. I haven't watched a whole lot of it because no spoilers, but it looks pretty.
It looks good. Like, I've seen just a little
unreal.
bit. Like, I'm also trying to avoid watching the streams because I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
But I've heard good things. I'm gonna try it out. But yeah, if you've played it, I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it looks pretty damn awesome. So I'm excited for eventually when I get that. First, I gotta get rid of this 980 though, before I even think about going VR. Gotta get rid of the 980.
Ronnie got a 2070 on Facebook Marketplace for $250. Yeah.
Wow. Good for him.
Crazy. I know, right?
Good for him. All right, well, that does it here for this episode of The Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast. It's episode 224. It's done. It's in the books. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back Sunday night live on Twitch for Monday's show. We're going to talk
esports.
NA ESL. That starts up tomorrow. So for all you guys who are wanting to see some Swole Patrol, the wait's over. The wait is
only 4
over.
teams, right?
There's now 6
ESL?
because they added MIBR. So there's 6. Evil Genius, Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, Furia, MIBR, and Swole Patrol. Stacked stacked. Still better than Flashpoint though, so I guess they got that going for them.
They took one of their teams.
So we'll talk about that though for Monday's show. Follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. Thank you again to our show sponsor, Alt. Check them out, altesports.com. Go and pick up yourself a TCR 101 Burglars hoodie, t-shirt, onesie. We appreciate it. Let us know on Twitter or Discord if you do. We would love to say thank you. I'm Tim for Anuj. We'll see ya.